Let's take a look in an experiment that scientists has done. They place rats alone in an isolated cage with no other rats to communicate with. The scientists then put two bottles of water into that cage. However, one bottle was laced with cocaine. What ended up happening was that the rats would keep going back for the water filled with cocaine so much that their bodies will overdose and die. The same experiment was then repeated. They also placed the same two types of water, but this time they placed a group of rats into a cage filled with toys and greenery, allowing them to have much more space to run around, talk, or have sex. The results were that the rats placed in the more open space were allowed to roam around much more, as well as communicate with each other, causing most of the rats to drink the normal water. Even when some of the rats drank the drugged water, none of them overdosed. This helps tells us that when you have a lonely and isolated life, like living in a rat cage, you would do nothing other than overdose on something you are addicted to. However, if you were to put somewhere filled with life and an environment that you actually enjoy being in, you would never overdose in any kinds of substance. Although this experiment was on rats, it can also relate to us humans as well, in not just drugs but also addiction like porn or fapping. Most of the people who constantly do these kinds of addiction are trapped in their own kind of rat cage. They are living a miserable life and have got nothing to do. They've got nothing else to do other than doing their addiction, resulting in an overdose. In this video, we won't do anything about eliminating the bad habit, but instead we are trying to build up our good habits to help replace them. First is to understand your addiction. There's a quote that I have heard which was to understand why we do what we do. Why can't you control your addiction? Why would you do that instead of doing something much healthier? Based on a lot of research, most of the people that have the addictions are all people who stay indoors most of the time and are the ones who are the most depressed. The reason why you feel like you never have anything else to do other than your addictions is because you don't even go out. You would never see someone that is depressed or addicted to these things who goes out all the time touching grass or hanging out with people. The reason why you feel depressed all the time is that humans are naturally supposed to feel sun exposure and explore and even just adventure in places you never knew were even there. So the next time that you feel like you are about to do the thing that you are constantly addicted to, just start going out. I'm sure that spending 30 minutes a day out in the sun can already make you feel much happier. The second thing is don't ever set streaks as your goal. The moment you set yourself a streak as a goal, you are setting yourself for failure. It is inevitable that you will break the streak, then feel guilty and mad that you broke it. The moment you start a streak and doing well, being on day 11 or something, then the moment you fail, going all the way back to day 0, feeling trapped and depressed. Since there's no real end to this goal, it'll make it unrealistic to fully eliminate the feeling of addiction, causing yourself to fail and go back to square one. Setting a streak tries to eliminate your addictions instead of building up better and healthier habits that can help replace the bad ones. Try to do things that distract you from your addiction. Things like going to the gym or just doing any kinds of sports are the best way to distract you. This is because going to the gym or just doing sports can force yourself to go out and move around instead of staying at home doing nothing. It forces your brain to think about things other than girls or things that are addictive. You can't kill your addiction, however, you can always change the environment. Talk to people, go out, hang out with your friends, just stay in the sun, do anything that can make yourself go outside.